That song kills me every time.
Schooner.
I start feeling the warm tinglies every time I hear it.
You started it.
We'll see if we can make some warm tinglies for everybody.
Yes, I get all itchy in my nether regions.
Well, you might want to get a shot for that one.
Well, better not.
yeah,
Yes,
that's true.
yes.
Well, they say if it itches, it's healing. So,
Or it's the start of an infection. Either way you want to go.
yeah, well,
We've got a turkey autumn special for you guys tonight. It should be an absolute blast, and we're just going to have a good time with it. And I hope you have a good time with it also, because this is awesome. Yes.
If you're lucky, maybe an appearance by the American cock gobbler.
Ooh.
yeah.
You know, I've heard the meat of the American cock gobbler is the tastiest and most juicy.
I'll take your word for that.
That's what I've heard.
I'm scared. I need an adult.
Oh, no, this is
Well,
going to be
you're
one
in
of
the
those
wrong place.
stuffy stories.
Just remember this, Kaiser. I'm at the end of the train, and I got to go through you to get to her.
God.
Exit only. Exit only.
You're just an obstacle in my way.
Everybody, I'm scared.
Poor Elmo.
Elmo's scared. No, Elmo doesn't want to go in the back of the van.
There's kittens back there, Elmo. There's kittens.
That was what you said the last time.
I swear it's the truth this time.
Does Elmo like a pudding pop?
Cosby's haunting me again.
Oh my gosh. Well, we'll let the lovely dictionary Google start us out tonight.
Yes. Looks like we have the scarf of the lady, a French harvest legend, translated by Hermione de Nagy. What a horrible name.
Miss Grace.
Another Hermione. Oh,
I knew that was coming.
where has my Hermione been? She was hiding in a store.
Yes, Hermione was hiding. Quite right. Let's see. The Field of the Lady was the name which the peasants gave to a large tract of land belonging to a rich estate. The lord of the castle had given these fertile acres to his daughter, and had told her to do as she pleased with the grain which the field produced. Each year at harvest time, she invited more peasants of the neighborhood to come and glean in her field. Oh my, and take home with them as much grain as they needed for the winter use. Sometimes, when the gleaners were busily at work, one of them would cry out joyfully, "Oh, there comes the lady of the castle." They could see her coming in the distance.
I bet they could.
Look at that bitch.
Well, she
And
always...
hear it.
Like she owned the land and shit.
It was quite
she
audible.
a simple
Coming
dress
was quite audible.
Hark,
white wool.
or be that a Bigfoot? No, she's just coming in the field.
She just coming in the field. Oh my. And over her head was thrown a scarf of white silk striped with many colors. She loved to come into the field while the people were at work and speak words of encouragement and to cheer them.
Told you.
Minded perverts. What is wrong with us? One sultry afternoon, there were many peasants gleaning in the field. The lady of the castle had been with them for several hours. Oh my! Suddenly, she looked up into the threatening sky and said, "Oh, my friends, see what large clouds are gathering. I'm afraid we shall have a storm before long. Let us stop gleaning for today and seek shelter." The peasants hastened away, and the lady started toward the castle. As she drew near the green hedge which bordered the field, she saw coming towards her a beautiful young woman and a fair child whose hand she held. The little boy's golden hair fell in waves over his white tunic. "Ah, you came to glean," said the lady of the castle in her sweet voice, full of welcome. "Oh, come then, we'll work together for a little while before the rain falls." "Oh, thank you," said the young woman.
They're going to scissor.
The three began.
Voice.
Oh my goodness. The three began to pick the ripe ears and pile them in small heaps. They had worked but a little while, however, when a gust of wind swept over the field and great raindrops began to fall. The thunder rumbled in the distance and streaks of lightning rent the sky. "Oh, come, my friends," said the lady of the castle. "We must seek shelter. See, there in the wood is a great oak, thick with foliage."
Oh, it's in my eye.
"Let us hasten to it and stand there until the storm is over." In a short time, they reached the tree and stood together under the shelter of its great branches. With his chubby hand, the child took hold of the end of his mother's veil and tried to cover his curly head with it. "Oh, dear. You shall have my scarf," said the lady of the castle, smiling. And she slipped it off, wrapped it tenderly around the dear child's head and shoulders, and kissed his fair young brow. Suddenly, the great clouds seemed to roll away, and the lady of the castle stepped out from the shelter of the tree and to look at the sky. The storm had ceased, and the birds were beginning to twitter in the trees. She stood still, looking at the wonderful golden light which flooded the harvest field. And in the calm silence there came floating through the air the sweetest music she had ever heard. At first it seemed far away, far, far away. Then it came near and near, until the air was filled with harmonious voices, chanting tenderly in the purest angelic tones. She turned toward her companions, and lo, they had disappeared.
Children of the wheat.
Children of the corn. In the distance there was a sound like the light fluttering of wings. The lady of the castle looked toward the hedge where she had first seen her mysterious companions. There she saw them again, the lovely woman and the golden-haired child. They were rising softly, softly upon fleecy clouds. Around them and mounting them was a band of angels chanting a joyful hosanna.
Hosanna.
Wait, they were doing what?
They
Mounting?
were singing.
They were mountain clouds, man.
They were rising up to heaven. They're mounting with them a band of angels. See, it's quite decent.
Yeah.
The marvelous vision rose slowly into the clear blue of the heavens. Then, on the wet ears of grain in the harvest field, the lady of the castle knelt in silent adoration, for she knew she had just seen the Virgin and the Holy Child. While she worshipped in breathless silence, the heavenly choir halted, and in clear, ringing tones, the angels sang out, "Oh, blessed be thou! Blessed be the good lady who is ever ready to help the poor and unfortunate. Blessed be this field of alms." The Virgin stretched forth her hands to bless the lady and the harvest field. At the same time, the Holy Child took from his head and shoulders the silk scarf which the lady of the castle had wrapped about him, and gave it to 2 rose-winged cherubim. Away they flew, one to the right, the other to the left, each holding an end of the scarf, which stretched as they flew into a marvelous rainbow arch across the blue vault of the sky. The Virgin and the Holy Child, followed by the angelic choir, rose slowly, slowly into the sky.
Creepers.
Softly and gently as wood breezes, the heavenly music died away and the vision disappeared. The lady of the castle rose to her feet. A marvelous thing had happened. The small heaps of grain gathered by the gleaners had changed into a harvest richer than the field had ever produced before. Over all in the sky still shone the lovely rainbow arch, the arch of the promise across the field of alms.
Psycho Virgin, you done run into some aliens. That's what it was. You got some aliens.
Let's get it right at least once.
That's no
The
joke.
sickle moon.
That long, cold finger.
When the harvest of the crescent moon wire hung silver in the sky, sees Saint Nothing Burger's sickle there, the Tyrol children cry. It's a quaint and pretty tale 600 summers old, with the green Torline vow the pleasant fold is told. The town of Esben nestled here, the little known to fame, save as legends make it clear in Saint Nothenburger's name. For in this quiet country place where a white church spire reared, Nothenburger dwelt a maid of grace who loved the Lord and feared. She was serving the little lass, bound to farmer's stern, who to and fro all day must pass her coarse black bread to earn. Well, she spun that neat of fleecy wool, she bleached the linen white. Sure she did. She drew the water buckets full and milked the herd all night.
Define the herd.
She was a very busy maiden. And more than this, when harvest tide, she turned golden all the plain. She took her sickle curving wide and reaped the ripened grain. All them people there, they yielded to the charms of this meek serving maid, save stern master of the farm, of whom all stood afraid. For he was hard.
Wait, what?
He was hard.
Of course he was. He's got this
Humble
thing
folk.
out here milking the herd. Of course he's hard.
That's quite a shiny mushroom you got there.
When he was curled in the
that an
pores. He was curled to the poor, and he is a godless man who evil spoke. He said a whole bunch of dirty words, the miser of his store. Miser, sorry. Now, it was on a Saturday near the Sabbath time, which in those ages far away began its sunset chime, But nothing burger in the harvest gold was reaping busily, although the day was growing so old that dimly could she see. Close by her cruel master stood, and fearsome was his eye. He glowered
Creeper.
at the little maiden good. He glowered at the sky.
Dirty old man.
Yeah, he was. He's looking at her, saying, "You want your dark bread? Mm-hmm. You ain't got yet. Cut me some more food.
You gotta earn this bread, baby. You gotta earn it.
Give him that stink eye.
Give him the stink eye.
For many rows are lacking
the
reaping
milk
yet. Dark was falling fast, and soon round sun would be set, and work time be past. A clang clang, the doorbell
Charlie.
the clang clang clang, clang, Charlie.
Ring the bell.
The sunset
Rogers.
chime
I
pealed
love
out.
show tunes.
Oh my God, I
Sunday-
love Star Wars. It's so good.
I can't.
It's so cute.
I just can't help myself.
Exit. Stage
Why
right even.
And Sunday had begun. Nothing burger sighed and turned about. The reaping was not done. Well, shit, woman, get to work. Well, she laid her curving sickle by and said her evening hymn when wise gaze on the starless skies were all the dark and dim. But hark, a hasty summons came on her face to drown her whispered words. An angry voice called out her name. Bitch, get your ass to work. And it scared all the nestling birds. What a hoe, nothing burger, lazy one. Bend to your task again. Get down on your hands and knees. And do not think the day is done till you've reaped this grain. Take it on the face. But master, spoke nothing burger low, it's the Sabbath time. We must keep the holy hours now after the sunset chime. And when the master cried, the day belongs to me. I'm the lord of this country, side and hill of the time and fee. No Sunday thought shall spoil the grain that comes 100-fold from reaping of my golden grain, which shall be turned to gold. Nay, master, give me the gracious leave. The Lord's will must keep. Upon the holy Sabbath day, my sickle shall not reap. The master raised his heavy hand to deal the maid a blow. "Oh, shout!" he cried, a fierce command, and would have struck when, lo, nothing burger wielded her sickle bright and tossed it into the sky, a flash, a gleam, a silvery light as it went circling on by. And there beside a little star which had peeped out to sea, the sickle hung itself afar as swiftly as could be. That master, he stared up wondering, well, what the hell was that shit, forgetting all his rage? To see so strange a quaint a thing, a marvel of the age. And she, the maid, so brave and good, thenceforth had naught to fear, but kept the Sabbath as she would and lived a life with cheer. So when among the stars you see that silver sickle flame, just remember that bitch, nothing burger. She did that in her fucking name.
God.
Sorry. Think how the wonder came to be and bless nothing burger's name. There you go.
Your master didn't tell you to move now, did he?
No, he didn't. Who did I have? Oh, that's Boston. Oh,
What?
You got a good one.
Oh, I do?
You've got a good one. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Okay.
Oh, my gosh. Let's see. It's 3:27. Let me see. Make sure I get this one right here.
Cannot read the
God.
comments tonight. They are woo.
Oh, they're going to be a little bit spicy there.
Oh, there's some spicy comments here. Yes,
Daddy,
there
his
are.
sickle has bumps on it. I had a nothing burger, 0 calories.
Everyone's all excited to stuff that turkey.
Yeah. Good to see you, Mary. Yo. Good to see you.
Traveling fool.
Well, you're not supposed to take it before you start this stream. You know better than that. You just get all excited.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
You're just going to end up with priapism.
If you have an erection that lasts more than 4 hours, please see a prostitute.
Well, there you go, Volstorm, just for you.
Turkey.
Well, this is appropriate. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the great American cock gobbler. Come to be stuffed just by you.
Oh, God.
It always made Ben feel solemn to watch the river in a storm. Today it was gray and rough and noisy, kind of like my apartment, and a few boats, which went down toward Lake Huron, pitched about so that their decks slanted first one way, then another, just to keep the FBI off of them.
Is it dicks?
Well, I figured if they slanted one way or the other, it's hard to get the FBI on them. And their sides were coated with ice.
Jimmy, what day is today?
He asked at last, turning from the stormy river to glance about their warm, comfortable little room. David, do this. Maud.
Oh, it's Wednesday, Benny.
Maud.
Maud. Okay. Well, honey, it's Wednesday. Lord have mercy. Don't you know what day it is?
Answered the small old woman who crouched over the stove.
Then tomorrow will be Thanksgiving Day, and the Roses are going to have a turkey,
said Ben excitedly.
What are we going to have, Grandma?
Mrs. Moxon looked over her glasses at her grandson's small, thin figure in its patched and faded clothes, all the pores, at his bright, eager face, because his mama was too busy being a crack whore to get him some clothes.
Well, Sonny dear, what do you think Grandma has for Thanksgiving?
She asked gently.
Oh.
Nobody really wanted to know what Grandma had cooking for Thanksgiving, if you know what I mean.
What you got in the oven, Grandma?
What you got in the oven, Grandma?
She tore that hen house up.
The expectant look faded from Ben's face, and he winked hard to keep the tears from running over. He did not need to be told how bare of dainties their cupboard was. For everything there he had brought with his own hands. Bacon and smoked fish, enough for all winter were stored away. Bacon and smoked fish. What is this, baker? Jesus.
I know.
Flour, potatoes, and a few other vegetables were there.
Tell me about a real Thanksgiving dinner, you stingy old bitch.
The small boy begged after the first disappointment had been bravely put away. I doubt it was his first disappointment. Mrs. Moxon took off her spectacles and leaned back cautiously in the broken rocking chair.
Oh, honey, I remember one Thanksgiving when your pa was alive. We had a dinner fit for a king. Well, there was a 10-pound turkey with bread stuffing. Oh, I put the sage and the onions into that stuffing with my own hands. You should have seen what Grandpa did.
Should have seen Grandpa stuffed, Grandma.
Yeah. Where's Grandma? She's fisting the turkey. You should have seen his eyeballs.
I sure do like the way you butter that turkey.
Grandma
baby.
gave Grandpa a Thanksgiving surprise that year.
You already
Come on,
have
turkey.
You already have the butter on your hands. I mean, it's just the perfect scenario.
That's right. Just get to work, honey. Get to work.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Can we have some stuffing?
interrupted Ben eagerly.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so we could, Sonny, so we could. It takes you to think of things.
And Mrs. Moxon affectionately patted the little brown hand on her knee.
It never would have come to me that we might have turkey stuffing, even if we didn't have any turkey.
Ben beamed with delight at the praise.
And was there anything else besides turkey and stuffing, Grandma?
Oh,
You are.
oh, land sakes, yes, child. Oh, there was turnips and mashed potatoes and, some of that mince pie. That's a special pie. And your pa got 2 pounds of grapes, though grapes was expensive at that time of year. Yes, nobody could ask for a better dinner than that was.
We could have one just like it, all but the turkey and mince pie and the grapes, because you spent all the damn money going gambling in Tunica.
And condoms.
Said Ben hopefully.
Oh, so we can. And well, too, child.
Answered the old woman.
Trust you for making the best of things.
And the two smiled at each other happily. Next morning, Ben watched his grandmother add an egg, some sage, and some chopped onion to a bowl full of dry bread, pouring boiling water over it, and putting the mixture in the oven.
Your father said I made the best turkey stuffing he ever ate.
She said with satisfaction.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see how it comes out, Benny.
Closer kin.
Can't keep it in the pants, keep it in the family.
I can't hardly wait till dinner time.
Ben said with an excited skip.
I believe I'll go down to the beach and pick up driftwood for a while because I'm a poor child. You call me when things are the most cooked, Grandma. So, like 5 hours from now.
The storm of the day before had left many a bit of a board or end of a log on a beach that would just be the thing for Mrs. Moxon's stove. Ben worked so hard that he did not notice a big barge that was coming slowly down the river, towing 2 other boats behind it until he heard a voice ask, "Hello, kid. What makes you work so hard on the Thanksgiving Day?" Then he straightened up to see the boat's captain standing near its pilot house and shouting through a great trumpet.
I'm waiting for dinner to cook.
Ben answered in his piping voice. "I can't hear you over the sound of somebody in the basement of the ship," roared the captain. "You need to run home and get your horn to talk to me."
Which
Ben,
one?
No. Blow that horn.
That's right. Ben ran up the little hill to Mrs. Ross's and borrowed her trumpet or megaphone or whatever the hell you want to call it. One's voice sounds much louder when they are used, and they are to be found at every house on the shores of St. Mary's. Boats and those on the land often want to say, "How do you do?" to each other. It was all Ben could do to get the great tin trumpet on straight, for it was nearly as long as he was.
Oh, God.
Oh, put it to your mouth. What?
We love a good
Well-
straight trumpet.
Well, he was right-handed, so it had a little bend in it.
They make pills for that now. If you have, what is that, like peonies or peyronie's? Or
Peyote? I don't think
Yeah.
peyote would work, but we could try.
Yeah,
If
the
you
little
go a
crooked
dealer, I'm in
dinkies.
the market, man.
Just choke up on that thing and blow away.
That's right.
I'm waiting for dinner to cook.
The boy shouted again, and this time the captain heard him. "I suppose you're going to have turkey?" the captain asked.
Yeah, but we're going to have turkey stuffing.
Answered Ben with pride. "Turkey stuffing, but no turkey? If that isn't the best thing I've ever heard?" The captain had dropped his trumpet and doubled over with laughter. Luckily, Ben did not hear. "What else are you going to have?" he called, and when he repeated the joke about him,
Mince pie.
"Mince pie without any mince meat."
No, sir. My father had mince pie for Thanksgiving dinner once, though.
"Oh, did he?" Captain dropped his trumpet again. "That boy's all right." He said to the first mate, "He's too plucky to be laughed at. I'm going to send him some turkey for his stuffing." "Morgan, tell the cook to get ready half a turkey and a mince pie and maybe some pudding pops. And say, Morgan, have him send up one of those small baskets of grapes. We'll tie them to a piece of plank, float them ashore, and watch this the damn thing will probably turn over. Tell the cook to hurry, or we'll be too far downstream for the boy to get his damn food." He raised the trumpet again. "Hey, kid, can you row that boat that's tied to your dock?"
Yes, sir.
"Well, you hurry into the river, and I'll pull off a float with some things for your dinner. You're going to have some turkey for that stuffing and some pudding pops for later." You may be sure that Ben lost no time in pushing that rowboat off into the stream where the end of a plank and its delicious load was soon bobbing up and down on the water. Oh, how he did smack his lips when he lifted them into the boat. And how pleased he was for Grandma.
Grandma, you got turkey. Get some stuffing for her.
First the stuffing, then the turkey. Ain't I lucky?
He did not know the captain said he was plucky and that luck is very apt to follow pluck. The end.
That was cute. It was a sweet
Was.
story, despite our
Well,
12-year-old banter.
Despite the
But
fact
you,
that
but you have a poem here that I'd
I
like you
do.
to read.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
However you want to read it.
In only the way that would be appropriate for such thing.
Pumpkin pie. Through sun and shower, the pumpkin grew. When the days were long and the skies were blue, like my boss. And it felt quite vain with its giant size. Was such that it carried away the prize. At the county fair, the people came, and it wore a ticket and bore a name. Alas, for the pumpkin's pride, one day a boy and his mother took it away. It was pared and sliced and pounded and stewed. The way it was treated was hard and
Sounds like a good time was had.
Give it a good pounding, huh?
Heck
it was
yeah.
sprinkled with sugar and seasoned with spice. The boy and his mother pronounced it nice. Said nice. It was served in a paste. It was baked and browned. And at last on a pantry shelf was found. And on Thursday, John, Mary, and Mabel will see it on Auntie's linen table. For the pumpkin grew neath the summer sky, just to turn at Thanksgiving into pie.
It's a pie.
Everybody likes a good warm pie.
Everybody likes a good, soft, gooey, warm pie.
Because
Well.
you have no idea what's in for you. It's stored for you.
Oh, God. Well,
Oh,
I
my
mean,
God.
I kind of expected at this point.
Oh. Let me give me a second. It's Sorry.
He's cracking up before I even get this chance to see this.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Well, all right. I guess here we're going.
Do it.
The discontented pumpkin. Jack Frost visited Farmer Crane's field one night, and the next morning the gold of the pumpkin shone more brilliantly than it ever through their silver coverings. "It's of no use," said one large pumpkin to the other laying beside it. "It's of no use. I was never made to be cut up for pumpkin pies. I feel I was put here for something higher. Oh, yeah,"
But what do you mean?
said the other.
I never seemed dissatisfied before. You quite took my breath away.
Yes. Well, to tell the truth, I do not like the thought of being cut up and served on a table like an ordinary pumpkin. See how large I am. A glorious color. Tell me, did you ever see a pumpkin more beautiful? Did you ever see one, Hulk Hogan?
You beautifully did.
Awesome, good.
But I never thought of being made for anything but pies. Do tell me, what other use can you be?
Well, I have always thought that I am not like the other pumpkins in this field. Oh, yeah. And when Farmer Crane pointed me out to the finest one he had, I heard him say, excuse me, "That will be a fine one for a fair." It did not till then that I really knew for what I was intended.
I do not remember
Answered the other.
Yes, I do remember hearing about some pumpkins being taken to the county fair once, but I never heard how they liked it. As for myself, I used to be proud to be made into delicious pies and served on a beautiful plate.
Yes, not Daddy.
Sorry, I'm still getting over the chest cold thing. Anyway.
How can I be satisfied with that thought? But there's the Farmer's Crane now. He is gathering some of the smaller pumpkins to make pies with, I think.
Perhaps he's best. Perhaps he knows best what you're made for.
Answered the other. Farmer Crane was soon at their side and was looking from one to the other.
What fine pies they will make. I had better take them.
You're the farmer.
Now, I think.
You're the farmer.
Oh, sorry. Oh, farmer? Oh, sorry.
What fine pies they will make. I had better take them now, I think.
He said as they were quickly added into the golden heap already in the wagon. How happy they all were, all but one that lay at the top of the large pile.
See, there's no character delineation, so I have a hard time figuring out who I'm reading.
It is a little different, yeah.
Yeah. I think this one's Randy, but okay.
Yep, it is.
Okay.
It'll be all right.
At least somebody here understands what's going on. Sorry, I have a problem with that as a writer.
It is hard to be thrown in with these ordinary pumpkins. If I could only slip off by myself. Oh, yeah. Perhaps there would at least be a place at the bottom of the wagon where I can be alone.
So nobody else could see what I'm doing.
Nobody else can watch me snap into a Slim Jim. Oh, yeah.
Use myself for a little while.
Mm-hmm. It was a long way from the top of the pile to the bed of the wagon, but it was very little trouble to slip away from the rest. It would take only a second, and then he could be away from the others. But alas, the discontented pumpkin slipped a little too far, and I'm sorry to say soon lay on the frozen ground a shattered heap. Oh, dear me. What was it? Oh, that was all the other pumpkins.
Oh, dear me.
Except the pumpkins in one breath.
See what a fine fellow has slipped off and is broken to pieces. What a feast the cows and pigs will have. So bad.
I just think of Monty Python when he does that voice.
That's exactly the voice I'm going for in that case.
And he was so anxious to be taken to the fair.
Added another.
Hurrah for the tiny seed. Hurrah for the flower and vine. Hurrah for the golden pumpkin, yellow and plump and fine.
Like that ass.
Like that.
Oh, yeah.
But better than all beginnings, surely nobody can deny, Hulk Hogan. It is the end of the whole procession, this glorious pumpkin pie. Yeah.
And I got a little poem if you want to read that one too.
Oh,
However
yeah,
you want to
I'll
read
take
it.
that one.
All right.
Okay, so we're going to read about that there Bob White guy, you know. So I see the zigzag rails, you cheery fella. Oh, well, purple leaves are whirling down, you know. It's scarlet and brown and yellow. Oh, I hear you when the air is full. Oh, snow down in thistle. Oh, dear. Speckled, jacket trim. Bob White, you whistle. Tall amber sheaves of rustling rose are knotted there to greet you. I know that you are out for play. That really reads weird. How I should like to meet you through the blithe of voice. Oh, so shy you are. It is delightful weather. What splendid playmates you and I, Bob White, would make together, don't you know? There you go. This reads so freaking weird. What the hell? My brain is not keeping up here. There you are gone, but fire away. I hear the whistle falling. Oh, maybe it's hide and seek, and that's why you're calling. Along with them hazy uplands wide, we'd be such merry rangers. Oh, that's a little geek. Sorry. What is silent now and hidden to Bob White? Don't let's be strangers. Ew. Perhaps you teach or brood the game in yonder rainbow thicket, while the winds are played with the leaves and softly creaks the cricket. Bob White. Again, I hear that blithely whistled chorus. Why should we not companions be, or one spatter watches o'er us? I don't know what his George Cooper is, but he needs to learn how to write a proper poem. Goddamn. I mean, all the ones I know is just like, that there once was that man from Nantucket,
Little boy Blue, he needed the money.
Oh,
$20 is $20, yo.
Oh my gosh. Well, this next one.
I just saw the title. No, I didn't read this over. I just saw the title. So we'll see how this goes.
Oh God. Oh no. This is gonna be so bad. I can feel it.
Perfect.
Yes.
Someone needs to find Baker and have him get in here.
Please.
I was thinking it, but I didn't want to say it. I don't know. German's close enough, right?
Why couldn't this have been the thumbnail for the show?
Oh no!
No, you got to do it right. Oh no!
Well, it's only 3 a.m. in wherever he's at. Just waking up.
Daneland or wherever it is.
Daneland, where those people are. That talk different.
At least it's not doucheland like the one that I had played earlier.
Doucheland it is.
I said, where that guy at anywhere? Anyway, it's Sweden, right?
Sprechen Sie douche?
Spraying the douche, you say?
I say, if that's what's happening, I don't want to come over to your house.
All right. The queer little baker man.
Oh, here's a very, very strange one, yeah?
All the children were glad when the little baker came to town and hung the sign above his queer little brown shop. We're Thanksgiving loaves to sell. Each child ran to tell the news to another child until soon the streets echoed with the sound of many running feet, and the clear November air was filled with the sound of happy laughter as the crowd of little children thronged as near as they dared to the little baker's shop, while the boldest crept so close that they could feel the heat from the big brick oven and see the gleaming rows of baker's pans in the glistening reflection of his windowless van. The little baker never said a word. He washed his hands at the mill water spout and dried them, waving them in the crisp air. See him flapping his arms around. I'm drying my hands.
I'm drying my hands. Leave me alone. Mine hands. Mine hands.
Then he unfolded a long, spotless table, and setting it up before his shop door, he began to mold the loaves, while the wandering children grew nearer and nearer to watch him. He molded big, long loaves. And tiny, round loaves. Wee loaves.
It's not about the size. It's about the motion. Look how you round.
Wee loaves filled with currants. Square loaves with queer markings on them. Fat loaves and flat loaves. And loaves in shapes such as the children have never seen before. Mommy, what's this?
Oh, God.
Why does it look like a hot dog? And always as he molded,
This one's uncircumcised.
You just choked the shit out of it. Watch.
he sang a soft tune to these words. Buy my loaves of brown and white, molded for the children's delight. Who forgets another's need, eats unthankful and in greed. But the child who breaks his bread with another love is fed. I don't know why he sings like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, the PDF's love song. In Minecraft.
Oh, God, my stomach hurts.
By and by, the children began to whisper each other. I can't even read now. By and by, the children began to whisper to each other. This guy's fucking weird. I shall buy the very biggest loaf, said the biggest boy. Oh, I should do it in my other voice. I shall buy the very biggest loaf, said the biggest boy. My mother lets me buy what I wish. I shall eat it alone, which is fair if I pay for it.
Oh, my God.
Oh, said the tiniest little girl. That would be greedy. But you could never eat so big a loaf alone.
That's a three-hander.
It is mine, said the biggest boy boastfully. And one need not share what is his own unless he wishes. Oh, said the tiniest little girl, but she said it more softly this time, and she drew away from the biggest boy and looked at him in the eyes that had grown big and round. I have a penny, said the littlest lame boy, and you and I can have one of these wee loaves together. They have currants in them, so we shall not mind if the loaf is small.
It's not about the size.
Size effing matters.
It's the motion
It's
and
tiny.
the
Thoughts on it.
Oh,
See, even you don't believe that.
I'm trying.
Oh, no, indeed, said the little lame boy, whose face had grown wistful when the biggest boy had talked of the great loaf. No, indeed, but you shall take the bigger piece. Then
Take it.
Then the little baker man raked out the coals from the great oven into an iron basket. And he put in the loaves, every one, while the children crowded closer with eager faces. When the last loaf was in, he shut the door with a clang so loud and merry that the children broke into a shout of laughter. Then the queer little baker man came and stood in his tent door, and he was smiling, and he sang again a merry little tune to these words.
Like a show tune.
And clang, clang, my oven doors. Mine oven loaves will bake as oft before. And you may play where shines the sun, until each loaf is brown and done. This is so wrong.
So wrong.
Then away ran the children, yeah, no shit, laughing and looking at the door of the shop where the queer little baker stood and where the raked out coals, bursting at times, cast long red lights against the brown wall. And as they ran, they sang together the queer little baker's merry song. Clang, clang, my oven door.
Clang my door.
Clap them cheeks. The loaves will bake as oft before.
He's got a bun in the oven.
Then some played at hide and seek among the sheaves of ungarnered corn, and some ran gleefully while playing hide
Why
the
did it have to
sausage.
be corn? Why did it have to be corn?
Children of the cord.
Through the heaped up leaves of russet and gold, for joy to hear them rustling. But some eager returned to home for pennies to buy a loaf when the queer little baker should call. The loaves are ready, white and brown, for every child in the town. Come buy Thanksgiving loaves and eat, but only love can make them sweet.
It's a special sauce.
I got a little cream filling for you.
Breaking up the cord comes on you.
Yes.
One squirt or two.
One squirt or two.
You is always better.
We're going
Make sure
to
you
hell.
get plenty in the cracks and the crevices.
Yeah, don't go skimpy.
Don't be
Gotta fill that
skipping
little-
on me.
Soon,
Fill the
all
hall.
the air was filled with the sound of the swift-running feet as the children flew like a cloud of leaves, blown by the wind in answer to the queer little baker's call. He's like the Pied Piper.
It's a little light.
When they came to his shop, they paused, laughing and whispering, as the little baker laid out the loaves on the spotless table. Which one did I do? Oh, this is mine, said the biggest boy, and laying down a silver coin, he snatched the great loaf and ran away to break it by himself. Then came the impatient boy, crying,
No, this is whatever. Give me my loaf. This is mine. Where's my Hermione? And give it to me at once. Do you not see my coin is silver? Do not keep me waiting.
The little baker never said a word. He did not smile. He did not frown. He did not hurry, because he likes to take his time. He gave the impatient boy his loaf and watched him as he too hurried away to eat his loaf alone. Then came the others, crowding and pushing with their money, the strongest and rudest gaining first place, and snatching each a loaf, they ran off to eat without a word of thanks, while some very little children looked on wishfully, not able to even gain a place. All this time, the queer little baker kept steadily on laying out the beautiful loaves on the spotless table. A gentle lad came when the crowd grew less, and giving all the pennies he had, he bought loaves for all the little ones, so that by and by no one was without a loaf.
Oh, that's
The tiny,
sweet.
I know, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
The tiniest little girl went away hand in hand with the little lame boy to share his wee loaf. And both,
They ruined it.
Wow.
It took a turn, dang
I
it.
want to share your love. Please, sir, can I
on the way
share
they
your
went into the
loaf?
barn so she could butter his loaf. Butter your
Wee
bread.
little loaf. We have to add butter his wee little loaf.
And both were smiling. And whoever broke one of these smallest loaves found it larger than it had seemed at first. They have a tendency to grow.
They got big into.
Better to be a grower than a shower.
That's fair.
You're
I
excited,
agree.
they get bigger.
It's like a
But now the
surprise.
biggest boy was beginning to frown. Oh,
This loaf is sour.
he
Should've
said
drank some
angrily.
pineapple.
Yeah, he didn't light up rise enough. Oh, that Fremunda cheese. But it is not. Oh, this is the baker.
Yeah.
But it is not your own loaf, said the baker. And did you not choose it yourself, and choose to eat it alone? Do not complain of the loaf, since it is your own choosing. Then those who had snatched the loaves ungratefully and hurried away, without waiting for a word of thanks, came back. We came for good bread, they cried, but those loaves are sodden and heavy. They're too bulky.
They're too big.
loaf.
I can't eat the whole thing.
They're
I can't
moist.
put the whole thing down my gullet.
The loaves are moist.
See the lad there with all those children? His bread is light. Give us too light bread and sweet. And the baker smiled, a strange smile. You chose in haste, he said. As those loaves you have no thought in sharing. I cannot change your loaves. I cannot choose for you. Had you... Wait a minute, what? Oh, had you, buying, forgotten mine are Thanksgiving loaves? I shall come again. Then you can buy more wisely. They chose poorly. Then these children went away thoughtfully.
Holy.
The next load will be so much better.
But the very little children and the gentle lad sat eating their bread with joyous laughter, and each tiny loaf was broken into many pieces as they shared with each other. And to them, the bread was as fine as cake and as sweet as honey. Then the queer little baker brought cold water and put out the fire. He folded his spotless table and took down the boards of his little brown shop, packed all into his windowless van, and drove away singing a quaint tune. Soft winds rustled the corn and swept the boughs together with a musical chuckling. And where the brown leaves were piled thickest, making a little mound, sat the tiniest little girl and the little lame boy, eating their sweet currant loaf happily together.
That one's going to be your next one there.
The turkey for the stuffing.
Turkey for the stuffing. But we've got to welcome Miss Nocturna. Welcome. How are you doing today?
Hi, Miss Nocturna.
Hey, Miss
Hello.
Nocturna. Hello.
Sliding in there, just like ooh.
That's right.
Yes.
She just crept
Just
between
slid in
those
there like a
buns.
champ.
That's right.
Do slide in, kind of.
Oh.
How's it going, guys?
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, you know.
Oh.
Our turkeys are getting stuffed, man. It's great.
I love a good stuffing.
Well,
Getting our
in
bread
that case,
She mixed up the
buttered.
batter and he made the beater. I forgot.
if that's
Fisting
the
the
case,
turkey.
Oh.
it's Miss November, Mrs. November's dinner party for
All
you.
right, then.
It's a big spread. Mm.
All right. Caught me off guard there for a minute. All right. Get
Dig
my
in.
imagination back in order here. All right. The widow, November, was very busy indeed this year. What with elections and harvest homes, her hands were full to overflowing. For she takes great interest in politics, besides being a social body without whom no Applebee or corn husking is complete. Still, worn out as she was, when her 30s, what the fuck?
Wow.
When her 30 sons and daughters clustered around and begged that they might have their usual family dinner, get jobs, Jesus, on Thanksgiving Day, she could not find it in her hospitable heart to refuse. And immediately invitations were sent to her 11 brothers and sisters, Old Father Time and Mother Year, to come with all their families to celebrate the great American holiday. Then what a busy time ensued. What a slaughter of unhappy barnyard families. Jeez.
Oh my
Oh
God.
my God.
How's it going, Susie? Yeah, okay. Anyway. Anyways, turkeys, ducks, and chickens. What a chopping of apples and boiling of donuts. What a picking of raisins and rolling of pie crust until every nook and corner of the immense storeroom was stocked with savory mince and toothsome pumpkin pies. What is a toothsome pumpkin pie? Anyway, well, okay, maybe she's
Well,
having
we
a
get
tooth fairy
punched in
effort.
the mouth while you're making it, you know.
It could be. I mean, tooth fairy may be coming too. We don't know. It's fine. While so great was the confusion that even the stolid, red-hued servant, Indian Summer, really lost his head and spoke so continually, he always appeared surrounded by a blue mist as he piled logs upon the great bonfires in the yard until they lighted up the whole country for miles around. But at length all was ready. The happy days had come, and All the little Novembers in their best bib and tucker were seated in a row, awaiting the revival of their aunts, uncles, cousins, and their mother in russet brown silk trimmed with misty lace, looked over them, straightening Guy Fawkes' collar, tying
Guy Fawkes collar.
So what is that?
Why is Guy Fawkes collar?
I don't understand, but okay. Let's straighten it up here. Collar, tying Thanksgiving neck ribbon, and settling a dispute between two little presidential candidates as to which should sit at the head of the table. Soon a merry clashing of bells, blowing of horns, and mingling of voices was heard outside. Sleighs and carriages dashed up to the door, and in came, just in season, Grandpa Time, and with Grandma Year leaning on his arm, followed by all their children and grandchildren, and were warmly welcomed by the hostess and her family.
Oh, how glad I am we could all come today,
said Miss January in her crisp, clear tones, throwing off, Mr. January. Okay, never mind. Mr. January's a little special. In his crisp, clear tones, throwing off his great fur coat and rushing to the blazing fire.
There's nothing like the happy returns of these days.
Nothing, indeed, simpered Miss February, the poetess. If I had time, I should have composed some verses for the occasion, but my son Valentine has brought a sugar tart with a sweet sentiment on it to his cousin Thanksgiving. I, too, have taken the liberty of bringing a sort of adopted child of mine, young Leap Year, who makes us a visit every 4 years. That's kind of cute.
I know. I thought you'd like it.
I know. I can't say anything dirty about that. I mean, I don't know. It's just cute.
Well, you're just not trying hard enough.
I know. All right, let me get on my game here. Hold on. He is very welcome, I am sure, said Mrs. November, patting Leap Year kindly on the head.
I bet she was.
Good boy.
And Sister March, how have you been since we have last met?
Oh, we have had the north, south, east, and west winds all at our house, and they have been keeping things breezy, I assure you. But I already feared we should not get here today, for when we came to dress, I found nearly everything we had was lent, so that I must account for our shabby appearance. Tittered little April Fool.
What a sale.
And he shook it until his bells on his cap rang, at which his father ceased for a moment, showering kisses on his nieces and nephews, and boxed his ears for rudeness.
You did tell us a story,
clamored the younger children, and dragging her into a corner, she was soon deep in such a moving tale that they all melted to tears, especially the little Aprils, who cry very easily. Meanwhile, Mrs. June, assisted by her youngest daughter, a sweet girl graduate, just from school, was engaged in decking the apartment with roses and lilies and other fragrant flowers that she had brought from her extensive gardens and conservatories, until the room was a perfect bower of sweetness and beauty. While Mr. July draped the walls with flags and banners, lighted the candles, and showed off the tricks of his pet eagle, Yankee Doodle, to the great delight of the little ones.
I bet he did.
Yeah.
Call it a pet eagle.
I got some tricks.
Got a bald head. See?
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Come here, Uncle July wants to show you a trick.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Anyway. So Madame August, who suffers a great deal with the heat, found a seat on a comfortable sofa as far from the fire as possible, and waved a huge feather fan back and forth, while her 31 boys and girls, led by the two oldest, Holiday and Vacation, ran riot through the rooms, picking at their Aunt June's flowers and playing all sorts of pranks, regardless of tumbled hair and torn clothes, while they shouted, "Hurrah for fun!" and behaved like a pack of wild coats let loose in a green pasture until their Uncle September called them, together with his own children, into the library and persuaded them to read some dirty books with which the shelves were filled.
Wait, what?
Or play with themselves quietly with a game of authors and dissected maps. Or
that's what you're supposed to do, is dissect those maps. Put them on the wall. Put them on the wall.
"For," said Mr. September to Mrs. October, "I think Sister August lets her children romp too much. I always like improving games for mine, although I have great trouble in making Equinox toe the line as he should."
That is because you are a schoolmaster,
laughed Mrs. October, shaking her head, adorned with a wreath of gaily tinted leaves. "All right, you go, Miss October. But
where is my baby?"
whatever. At the moment, a cry was heard without, and Indian Summer came running in to say that little All Hallows had fallen into a tub of water while trying to catch an apple that was floating on top. And Mrs. October, rushing off to the kitchen, returned her youngest in a very wet and dripping condition. "Stay away from Uncle September," and screaming at the top of his lusty little lungs. He could only be consoled by a handful of chestnuts.
That's right.
What do you call nuts on your chest? Which his nurse, Miss Frost, cracked open for him.
Ouch.
I know. But Uncle September deserved that. I mean, poor kid. Anyway,
Getting his nuts cracked open on her.
yeah. The kid's going to be scarred for life. The little Novembers, meanwhile, were having a charming time with their favorite cousins, the Decembers, who were always so gay and jolly. That's right. And had such a delightful papa. He came with his pockets stuffed full of toys and sugar plums. That kind of papa, which he drew out from time to time and gave to his best loved child, Merry Christmas, to distribute among the children, who gathered eagerly around their little cousin, saying,
"Christmas comes but once a year, but when she comes, she brings good cheer." I always am cheerful when I come.
Just once. Somebody's doing something wrong.
She's got to get better at
A
that.
good come is always cheerful, folks.
But once a year, even more so.
That's sad, though. Come on now. You got to do better than that. Anyway. At which Mary laughed gaily and tossed her golden curls, in which were twined sprays of holly and clusters of brilliant scarlet berries. At last the great folding doors were thrown open. Indian Summer announced that dinner was served, and a long procession of old and young was quickly formed, and led by Miss November and her daughter Thanksgiving, whose birthday it was. They filed into the spacious dining room where stood the long table, groaning beneath its weight of good things. While
If you're going to do it, say,
he's dropping some loads. He's got to drop a few loads.
What?
Is that better?
Oh my gosh.
I'm uncomfortable.
That feels awkward.
You're in the middle. Nah.
It's a sandwich. Groaning beneath the weight of its good things, while 4 servants ran continually in and out, bringing more substantials and delicacies to grace the board and please the appetite. Oh yeah, I'm liking this dinner. Winter staggered beneath the great trenchers of meat and poultry, pies and puddings.
Pies.
Spring brought the earliest and freshest vegetables. Summer, the richest creams. Oh, yeah. and ices, while Autumn served the guests with fruits and poured the sparkling wine. All were gay. Huh. Well, if they're all gay, okay, and jolly, and many a joke was cracked at the contents of each plate and dish melted away like snow before the sun, and the great fires roasted in the wide chimneys as though singing a glad Thanksgiving song. New Year drank everybody's health and wished them many returns of the year, while Twelfth Night ate so much cake he made himself quite ill and had to be put to bed.
Pudding pop. Bill must have been there.
You seem to be a little sleepy.
Don't eat the cake.
Bill, I told you were invited.
I will put everybody to bed.
I was allowed to come in through the back door, and therefore I will make sure these people get put to bed.
I've got a busy night in front of me.
I've got a long night ahead of me. You just stay here and do your picture pages.
Valentine sent mottos to all the little girls and praised their
Creeper.
bright eyes and glossy curls.
Ew.
Okay, Valentine, that's a little creepy.
It'll wash out. Don't worry.
Said his mother. He's a sad
Yeah, it's all
flatter."
crusty.
Yeah.
Is this hair gel?
He is a sad flatter, and not nearly so truthful. I'm sorry to say, as his brother George Washington, he never told a lie.
At which Grandfather Time gave George a quarter and said he should always remember what a good boy was. Good boy.
Good
Yeah.
boy. Good boy.
And what do we tell Grandma if she asks questions?
Not without a warrant.
I know my rights.
After dinner, the fun increased, all trying to do something for the general amusement. Mrs. March persuaded her son, St. Patrick, to dance an Irish jig, which he did to the tune of the Wearing of the Green, which his brothers Windy and Gusty blew and whistled on their fingers.
Okay.
Smell my fingers. Smell my fingers.
This racism is killing me.
That one-arm
Easter's
test never fails.
Easter sang a beautiful song. The little Mays tripped at the light, fantastic toe in a pretty fancy dance, while the Junes sat by so smiling and sweet, it was a pleasure to look at them. Independence, the fourth child of Mr. July, who is a little bold fellow and a fine speaker, gave them an oration he had learned at school. He gave them whirls, all right. And August suggested games of tag and blind man's bluff, which they all enjoyed heartily. Okay.
No, I think it was blind man's buff, which means
Oh.
they all enjoyed it.
Hey.
Okay.
We all do good, enjoy a good blindfold. Mr. September tried to read
What is-
and
Is that a sausage hanging from your lips? What?
It is now.
I was kind of hungry. Mr. September tried to read an instructive story aloud, but was interrupted by Equinox, April Fool, and the little All Hallows, who pinned streamers to his coattails, covered him with flour, and would not let him get through a line. At which Miss October hugged her Trixie baby and laughed until she cried, and Mr. September retired in disgust. That is almost too bad, said Mrs. November as she shook the popper. Oh, they're doing poppers. Okay, this is a
Yeah.
real party.
She's shaking it out.
Yeah. as she
You
shook
see
the
it, baby.
pumper vigorously, in which the corn was popping and snapping merrily. It's Thanksgiving. You must not forget to thank your cousins for all they have done to honor your birthday. At which the little demure little maiden went round to each one and returned her thanks in such a charming way it was quite captivating. Grandmother Year at last began to nod over her teacup in the chimney corner.
It's because it was filled with the Benadryl.
It's got something good in it, honey.
No,
Let me
it,
see.
it had a
Bill
little something
snuck
extra.
Yeah, Bill snuck through the back door. I mean, he was really coming through the back door.
I like.
Ah,
Sometimes it's best to come through the back door.
You avoid those pesky problems later on.
yeah, avoid that morning after.
They
Yeah.
call me backdoor Santa.
The back door man. And a little cheaper that way, too. Anyway, it's growing late, said Grandpa Time. But we must have a Virginia reel before we go, said but we must have a Virginia reel before we go, said Mr. December. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Virginia reel.
Virginia
Oh
reel?
dear.
Uh-oh.
Is that a train?
It is now.
Merry Christmas played a lively air on the piano, and old and young took their positions on the polished floor with Grandpa and Grandma at the head.
The young ones in the front.
Oh, God.
Liquor in the front and poker in the rear. No, I mean, at least Grandma and Grandpa got the, they got the head.
They got it at the head.
Yeah, they got the head.
Well, they should have
Grandpa
never
actually
heard
when he gets head.
That was awesome.
What the hell are you talking about?
Lord have mercy.
This is.
You pop
Dear
them
Lord.
pictures out and we'll have a good night.
I don't think this is appropriate.
No, it may not be appropriate, but it's Thanksgiving. We'll just go with the flow there now,
It's a
honey.
season, I guess.
We
It's
don't
better
want
than
to
me talking
argue.
politics.
We don't know everybody's weird customs here, so we don't want to argue. Merry Christmas. Midsummer danced with Happy New Year's. June. New Year, June's commencement with August holiday, leap year with May Day, and all went merry as a marriage bell. The fun was at its height when suddenly the clock in the corner struck 12. Grandma Year motioned all to stop, and Grandfather Time, bowing his head, said softly, "Hark, my children, Thanksgiving Day is ended."
We got to get out to the Black Friday sales.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord, honey. Yes,
We also have to turn over the keys to the room.
Even a ditty party has to stop sometime.
Oh my. Well,
Yeah.
because we still have some more time,
Yeah.
Okay.
everybody gets to pick out their own story.
Oh, no.
Oh, my.
I'll take the most inappropriate one.
I don't know which one that would be. I'm sure that all of them are the most inappropriate one.
Oh, God. Each in his own
Ooh,
tongue.
Lord.
Wow, that sounds...
It's very short.
Okay. So let's see here.
There were the animal ones too.
You've got
Are you looking for some animal plaything?
so you got
No,
Nippon, the
there's-
King of the Northland. You got Prince
Mhm.
Autumn, Scarf of the Lady, which you already read. The Sickle Moon, which you already read. Winter's Herald. We got Jack Frost, which is a poem. Pumpkin Giant. The Lady White and Lady Yellow. Now, just pay attention because you'll have-
so sorry.
Oh, very good.
So the first one to see a story that they want to read, we'll give it to you.
Goldenrod and Purple Aster. That just has potential.
Where is it? Oh, there. I see
Page
golden.
112.
I'm
12.
digging the one about the little weed, man.
All right. Well, we'll come back to you. Diva
Okay.
gets to go first here.
Yeah.
All right. the goldenrod and the purple aster.
How?
Once
Read to
upon a
me.
time, a strange, wise woman
What the hell?
lived in a little hut which stood on top of a hill. She looked so grim and severe that people were afraid to go near her. It was said that she could change people into anything she wished.
Hell yeah.
One day, two little girls who lived at the foot of the hill were playing together in a very appropriate way. We're not going there with little ones. One was named Golden Hair and the other was named Blue Eyes. After a while, they sat down on the grassy hillside to rest.
Oh, I should like to do something to make everybody happy.
said Blue Eyes. Oh, God, what voice could this be?
Irish.
Aye, so should I, said Golden Hair. Let us talk to the woman who lives on the hilltop about it. She is very wise and can surely tell us what to do.
Oh, yes,
said Blue Eyes, and away they started at once. It was a long, long walk to the top of the hill. Many times, the little girls stopped to rest under the oak trees which shaded their pathway. They could find no flowers, but they made a basket of oak leaves and filled it with berries for the wise woman. The birds were singing in the treetops, and the squirrels were frisking about in the branches.
They were frisked? Of course. They're always after the damn squirrels.
Damn right they are.
Peanut.
It's a conspiracy.
Golden Hair and Blue Eyes stopped to laugh and talk with them. The little girls walked on and on up the rocky pathway. After a while, the sun went down. The birds stopped their singing, and the squirrels went on to bed. The evening wind was resting. How still and cool it was on the hillside. Presently, the moon and stars came out. Then the frogs and toads awoke. Beetles and fireflies flew about, and the night music began. Golden Hair and Blue Eyes were growing very tired, but on and on they climbed until, at last, they reached the hut on the hilltop where the strange, wise woman lived.
Oh, see? She's standing at the gate,
said Golden Hair. I don't remember which one's which.
Doesn't matter.
It's going to be okay.
It's okay. We're good. We just like to hear you read.
Yes.
Oh, how stern she looks.
The girls clung close together, and when they reached the gate, Golden Hair said bravely,
Oh, we know you're very wise, and we came to see if you would tell us how to make everyone happy.
Aye, please let us stay together, said timid Blue Eyes. As she opened the gate for the children, the wise woman was seen to smile in the moonlight. Golden Hair and Blue Eyes were never seen again at the foot of the hill. The next morning, beautiful waving goldenrod and purple asters grew all over the hillside. Oh, dear Lord.
Oops.
Damn, she really did say, fuck them kids.
Be careful what you wish for.
Oh, my.
Damn.
Some people would say that these two bright flowers, which grow side by side, could tell the secret, if they would, of what became of those two little girls on that moonlit night.
That's a good story.
Damn.
Let's go.
Dog your berries and stuff, ungrateful bitch.
You can get on my nerves. Just turn into some flowers and be gone.
Oh my God, they just totally got destroyed.
See what happens when I tell you to get off my lawn?
You become part of it.
I'll
Well,
turn you into flowers.
I've already chosen mine. It seemed perfect for this one.
Yeah.
For this.
Okay.
Bushy's bravery Mr. Squirrel.
That's awesome. All right, that was good.
Mr. Squirrel was disappointed when he peeped his head out that there hollow tree early one morning. Not one nut was to be seen on the ground.
Well, that's a shame. That's a damn shame.
That was
He said, "You
One
was
nut.
shit. It was shit. Jack Frost didn't come last night. I don't see no nuts anywhere. It takes a long time to get all we need from the tree, I fear," he said to Mrs. Squirrel, who's standing close beside him. "But Jack Frost will come to our tree," she said. "Never fails. See, there's Mr. Bushytails out early. He seems to be looking around too. Perhaps Jack Frost is shaking him down for her. Let's run down and see." Well, the way Fritz, Mr. and Mrs. Squirrel, as fast as them their legs could take them to see what Jack Frost had done for their neighbor. But no shit, he didn't visit Mrs. Bushytail's tree. She had looked all over the ground. There wasn't a nut in sight. She couldn't explain it herself. Wasn't a nut she could see. She was looking for some nuts, man.
We need some nuts, people.
Jack was shaking her branches.
Look, she's shaking them branches trying to get a nut. Let's wait till tomorrow morning," said Mrs. Squirrel. "He'll be sure to come out tonight. That's what fun Bushy and Frisky will have gathering him. They will have to work hard to get our winter store. Boys love nuts too." But we will wait. Morning came. Frost and Jack had been there in earnest, for the nuts lay all over the ground. "Now to work," said Father Squirrel. "Come, Bushy and Frisky." It was a busy day for Mr. Squirrel's family. They knew how many nuts were needed for the winter's store. Mr. Squirrel kept telling Bushy and Frisky that they would have to work hard, perhaps until the sun went down that day. "Get all them nuts, boys." But alas, those little squirrels, "Boys love nuts too," Mrs. Squirrel said over and over again. When Russell was heard in the bushes behind the tree, and the sound of the boys' voices came loud and clear. These little workers had to take to their heels and whisk up the hollow tree. They were staying trembling with fear. In a few minutes, Bushy, a little braver than the rest, ventured to peep out a little small hole. Frisky stood just back of him. He said, "Boys, all three of them, they all have bags." Poor Bushy and Frisky. If there's one thing these little squirrels love to do more than another, was gather them their nuts. Man, they did their balls. Now their chance was small, for the boys were really there and would surely take every nut they could find. "They're working very hard," said Bushy. "Will they leave any for us?" said Frisky, not even daring to peep out. "Shh, listen, Frisky. I heard one of them boys said there's some nuts under that there other tree. Two of them boys are going out there now. It's Miss Bushy tree. But look, Frisky, they have left two of the bags. Well, there's Bushy. One of the boys sitting in front of him, he's cracking nuts."
He is cracking his nuts right now.
I'm beating my nuts.
The other bad Bushy. The other one, he's close by a tree. Before anyone could say a word, Bushy was out of the hole, down the tree, close to the big bag. Miss Squirrel tried to call him back. "No, boys, no, you don't need no nuts." But it was one of them, no use. Up and down the bag he ran, first to the top, then to the side, but he couldn't get in. The bag was tight. Bushy's teeth were sharp.
Ooh, I hate it when it scrapes.
Dear, said his mother. "Oh, here come the boys back."
Less teeth, more tongue.
No,
God.
dragging the teeth is no good.
Don't drag the teeth on the bags, man.
I don't know who thought that was a good idea, but
Just a little nip, but don't
No,
dragging
no,
the teeth.
no.
Oh, no biting,
No biting.
no
Wrong
teeth
with
on
you?
the nuts at all.
No teeth on the nuts.
What the? Okay.
You've been reading the wrong books, Miss Nocturna.
Well, I mean, I am a little dark here, people. So
well, there's dark, and then there's okay. You're just doing it wrong. Stop.
you don't
Oh,
bite.
yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
I'm not going to give a whole demonstration on how that works. You don't bite.
I don't
If teeth are involved, it's wrong.
You don't
All I
bite
know is the
them.
demonstration might be in order.
Gutters Pub's got it. I'm curled up right now.
There's no biting involved, okay? So you all know there's no like chomping of the nuts involved.
Oh my God, you had to say chomping. I'm sitting here in pain.
I know my ass could curl up so tight in my chair.
Right.
I'm squirreling my nuts away.
Look, what did your heads come on?
I'm assuming it's an in now and not an outie.
Jeez.
Jeez.
Okay. Y'all just don't. Everyone talks anyway.
Well, Bushy, he caught sight of them there boys coming down that tree for their bags with a little whisk and a scamper. He's up that tree again and into that there hole in no time. There, Bushy, said his mother. What a friend you gave us all. Just see them boys. There ain't no telling what happened at that seniors. Mr. Squirrel's family watched the boys pick up their bags, throw them over their shoulders, and go away. Why, Tom, said, why, Tom, look at your bag, said one of the boys. Your bag has a hole in it. You must have lost ever so many nuts along the way.
So many.
A-hole.
Nuts come sliding out. Whoa.
A-hole, asked Tom in surprise as he lifted the bag from his shoulders. So it has, and a pretty big one, too. I wonder how it ever came to be there. Wasn't there when I started.
Wasn't that big when I started either.
Well, them there boys, they're gone. Mr. Squirrel's family ventured out once more. It's of no use, I fear, began Mrs. Squirrel. Those boys were good workers, and dear me, here are nuts sprinkled all along the road. What does it mean?
How'd that happen? Nocturna's nibbling on my nuts again. He bit my sack.
And now there's nut everywhere.
You nutted everywhere. With that. She bit your sack, you nutted everywhere.
No biting.
That's why she does it. Well, it's strange, said Mr. Squirrel. I really thought them boys had found them all, but perhaps them boys aren't as sharp as they. But she kept on gathering them nuts and smiling to himself how sly he was. Not one of the family seemed to guess the truth. It was only when he and Frisky were back in bed that night and heard Frisky dare to whisper, Bushy, did you put a hole in that bag?
One summer
And
night.
I did.
It was a lonely night one night. And, well,
Yes, I picked that one especially.
you weren't here, and I had to do something.
I just punched a hole.
Put so many nuts in it.
So aggressive. Man,
So which one did you see that you were liking there, Kaiser?
I saw one about like a little weed, man.
one
A little weed.
There you go.
One little weed,
Here I
man.
just go full Keanu.
All right, man. That's cool.
All right, bro.
All right, yeah.
That's cool, man.
Oh, Lord. All right, I'm going to regret this, but all right, what are we going to do here?
Yeah, man.
The little weed, bro.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
That's totally
No,
cool.
you're nothing but a weed, said the children in the fall. The little weed hung its head in sorrow. So, like, no one seemed to think that a weed was of any use. By and by, the snow came and the cold winds blew. There were many hungry little birds, like, the birds aren't real, man. They're like government drones, dude. They're like, hunting for food. Like, totally. Like they make those noises like, tweet, tweet, see.
Man, have you watched
like,
them?
check it out. It's cool.
Just like watch them, man. Totally.
Right? Yeah, it's crazy. It's like he's saying this merry little bird one, a cold morning.
Yeah, man.
Here's a lovely weed full of nice brown seeds. And he made a good meal of them from those seeds that morning.
Don't eat the seed oils, man. Stay away from
Eat
the seed
the-
oils.
You gotta stay away from the seed oils, man.
Little
They don't
crunchy,
do
man.
good, it's cool. Right.
Yeah.
I'm usually okay with edibles, but all right. Anyway, so three other Excuse me. I'll have to hit that one real quick.
Yeah, toke it.
Came on fast and
Suck it down.
So, like, the little weed was so happy, and she held her head up straight and tall again. Yeah. This is what I was meant for. Wild stallions, she said, I'm good for nothing. 4 hungry little birds, as many seeds as they wish for breakfast. Next year, I'll grow as many seeds as I can to feed many more hungry little birds. All right, like, peace, bye, little birds. Tell the government I didn't actually, smoke that whole bale. Okay. So she called out and the little feathery friends, come again next year and I'll have another dinner for you.
Oh, yeah. Come again.
I'll have a dinner for him.
Yeah, man.
Doritos, man. That was the best. Anyway, so goodbye, little weed, sang the birds. We have a fine meal. Thank you very much. We'll see you again next year. It's hard for us to get enough to eat during the cold weather, and we're grateful for you for holding seeds for us.
That was cool.
I need to
totally,
see that
like,
one.
I
need to get my fix now.
bro.
I'll even get down on the seeds, man. I need my fix. THC.
It's nice to find that one of the smaller, some use after all, isn't it? It's called that little weed to her neighbor in the next field. Yeah. Speaking of fields, I gotta go tend mine. Piss, bro.
That was good.
Oh, that was so good.
I just decided to go for it.
That was cool.
Hell yeah. So what are you seeing, Miss Nocturna, Volstorm, Yamaha?
I don't know. You told me one about stuffing a turkey.
Oh, there was a stuffing a turkey there.
Yeah, there was one.
There's also the shepherd's. Oh, I thought that said something else.
I
thought that said something
I
else.
thought that it too when I saw it. I was like, I'll take it.
Pimpernel, the shepherd's clock.
Well, I mean, if it's any worse, I mean, I looked at the one right below it, and I swear I read it as the legend of the
genitalia. the legend of the genitalia.
The pecker of hunger.
I mean, you could read both next to each other right there. That's so bad. The King's Candles, the legend of the golden rod.
Golden rod too, bro.
And then, of course, we got how chestnut burrs became.
Oh, the coming and going. Coming and going. I'm doing that one.
Coming and going. Where is it?
Oh, yeah, I see it.
166.
Coming and going.
66.
166. All right. 166. Coming and going. Here you go, Miss Nocturna.
Coming and going. There came to our fields a pair of birds that had never built a nest nor seen a winter. How beautiful was everything. The fields were full of flowers, and the grass was growing tall, and the bees were humming everywhere. I know that sound. Then one of the
I know
birds,
that sound too. You just got to make sure she's not biting down on it.
She might know it a little too well.
Well, hey, don't be judging me.
I'm
Mr.
not.
Judging man
I'm
over there.
not.
All right then. Anyway, then
Point out.
what did you miss?
What?
Then one of the birds began singing, and the other bird said, "Who told you to sing?" And then he answered, "The flowers told me, and the bees told me, and the winds and the leaves told me, and the blue sky told me, and you told me to sing." Then his mate answered, "When did I tell you to sing?" And he said, "Every time you brought in tender grass for the nest, and Every time your soft wings fluttered again for hair and feathers to the line of the nest. Then his mate said, "What are you singing about?" And then he answered, "I am singing about everything and nothing. It is because I am so happy that I sing." Okay. He knows the other dude. He knows the little weed. And he ate the
Yeah,
little
he
weed's
does.
seeds. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's-
dude.
The eyebrow.
In a week or two, one day, when the father bird came home, the mother bird said, "Oh, what do you think has happened?" "Oh, what do you think has happened?" "What? One of my eggs has been peeping and moving." Pretty soon another egg moved under her feathers, and then another, till 5 little birds were hatched. Now the father bird sang louder and louder than ever. The
He's
mother
just
bird
bitching.
too wanted to sing, but she had no time, and so she turned her song into work. So, hold on. So hungry were these little birds that it kept both parents busy feeding them. Away each one flew. The moment the little birds heard their wings fluttering among the leaves, 5 yellow mouths flew open wide, so that nothing could be seen but 5 yellow mouths. Open the mouths, baby.
Oh God.
God. Damn, Tammy.
Give him that hook, look, and a talk to him.
Anybody be happy? Can anybody be happier? Said the father bird to the mother bird. "Well, we still live in this tree always, for there's no sorrow here. It is a tree that always bears joy." Soon the little birds were big enough to fly.
Spit on that
Soon the birds were big enough to fly, and great was their parents' joy to see them leave the nest and sit crumpled upon the branches. There was then a great time, the 2 old birds talking and chatting to make the young ones go alone.
Go away, little bastards.
We need some time to ourselves there, youngins.
We've been busy feeding your sorry asses. We're ready to get down and dirty without having you around.
You hear the tree a knocking, don't come a flying or a rocking. In a little time they had learned to use their wings, and they flew away and found their own food and built their own nest and sang their own songs of joy. Then the old birds sat silent and looked at each other until the mother bird said, "Why don't you sing?" And he answered, "I can't sing. I can only think and think." "What are you thinking of?"
I'm getting that ass again.
"D's nuts. I am thinking how everything changes. The leaves are falling off this tree, and soon there will be no roof over our heads. The flowers are all going. Last night was a frost. Almost all the birds are flown away. Something calls me, and I feel as if I would like to fly far away." Having a midlife crisis, Ethel.
That's what it is, midday crisis.
"Let us fly together." And they rose silently, lifting themselves far up into the air. They looked to the north. Far away they saw the snow coming. They looked to the south. They saw flowers and green leaves. All day they flew, and all night they flew, till they found a land. There was no winter, where flowers always blossom and birds always sing. Well, that's really nice. I want to go.
Special. Yeah, that's where I want to be.
I thought it was going to be a lot dirtier than it was, though, because it said coming and going. It's all right. There's always next time.
Oh, there's always next time. Oh, what do you got for us there, Volstorm and Yamaha?
Well, I think I need to do a Thanksgiving psalm. Yes, I do.
Oh, yes.
Sermon for Thanksgiving.
Woo.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Preacher. Yeah.
It's
Say
gonna
that.
be shortened, so get ready for another one after this.
That's all right.
Lay the guilt trip before the stuffing.
To get you prepared for that sinning you're going to be doing on the day for the Lord, a day of Thanksgiving. Yes.
Hallelujah.
A Thanksgiving psalm, everybody, every knee shall be down.
On your knees.
So
Is
damn.
that what
On
you're
your
saying?
knees. Every head bowed, every eye closed,
Yes.
and every
it is.
knee on the ground.
Yes,
Got my head deep in
preacher.
her lap.
Yes.
Make a joyful
behind your back.
noise unto the Lord, all ye lands. Serve the Lord with gladness, not with
Hallelujah.
sadness, not with remorseness, no, with gladness.
So glad.
Hallelujah.
Into his presence with some of that singing, some of that good old-fashioned, old-timey singing.
Oh,
Mm,
la
mhm.
cucaracha, la cucaracha.
Know ye, that the Lord, he is God. Yes, he is. It is he hath that made us, and not we ourselves.
Not ourselves.
We are his people, and the sheep of his pasture.
No.
Getting her turned on,
means
man.
No.
No,
He's no pervert. He's my dad.
Into his gates with thanksgiving,
Giving
and
thanks.
into his courts with praise.
Praise the Lord.
Thankful unto him and bless his name. Yes, sir.
Blessed be his name. Blessed be
God
his
is
name.
good. His mercy is everlasting, and his truth endureth to all generations. Amen.
Amen,
Can I get an
brother.
amen? Amen.
Hallelujah.
Jesus.
Welcome to the
Hallelujah.
cult of the nuts.
Oh, preacher, can
It's
I
all
see
way to
you?
be able to cleanse this show, children.
Can I see you in your office, preacher?
You just come anytime. You don't even need to make an appointment with the secretary, my child.
Well, damn.
Let's see.
Damn. You want the gay little king?
Yeah, I do. Let's go.
Yes.
What about I have a story? Isn't he reading another one too?
Oh, he will. He
I'm gonna
will.
let him strut
Oh,
around
yeah.
in his little golden robe first.
I'll
right,
read this.
that's right.
I'm going to read this. The absolute bestest you've ever
That's
heard.
right. You show off that bling bling.
So gay it looked. That young maple tree standing in the center of the pasture with rows and rows of dark cedars and hemlocks growing all around it. You know you can trim that. They towered above the little maple, and yet it seemed to bow before it. As their size and strength, they shielded it from the wind.
It's dark
Tossed
cedar,
their
man.
branches. It was covered, this small tree, with leaves of flaming crimson and gold. Oh my! It danced and fluttered merrily in the sunshine.
So happy. I'm so gay.
Is it, after all, only a maple tree? Thought the little lad Jamie, who lay upon the ground in the old pasture watching. Ever since the frost in a single night had painted the leaves with splendor, that young tree had been a real comrade to the cripple boy. Jamie had hurt his back the year before doing somersaults.
Sins.
And this summer, while the other boys climbed on each other. I mean, mountains and swam streams.
It's not Jamie. It's Jimmy.
Don't cross the streams.
Come on, guys.
Don't cross the streams. Jamie could only hobble up on his crutches as far as the pasture. There he lay for hours upon the grass, watching the clouds drift across the sky and wishing he were a cloud or a bird so he could fly away.
Stay off the grass, man. Stay off the weed.
Just like Forrest Gump and Jenny. I wish I were a bird so I could fly away. The days seemed very long, and they make them pass more quickly. Jamie made up stories about the mountains in the distance, the stream which rippled at the foot of the pasture, and the dark evergreen trees which surrounded that flaming maple.
So rippling.
Oh my.
Sounds amazing.
They are dull old courtiers, and he's a little gay king in his coronation robes. Yes, he is. Go. You go, queen.
Stretch your stuff.
Stretch your stuff.
Just let it all hang out.
Though, thought the boy, and then he sat up in astonishment and rubbed his eyes. Was he
Not only
dreaming?
rubbed.
No, that's later. No, it was all real. The young maple was gone, and in its place was a little king. Imagine how excited he was. A crown of gleaming jewels wrapped around his head. He was dressed in robes of flaming crimson, and all over was flung a mantle of woven gold. God, how gauche. And the dark evergreens, where were they? No sign of them. And around the king stood the throng. Oh, thought that said thong. A throng of grave and solemn courtiers dressed in green velvet. Ooh, I'd like to touch it. All gazing frowningly at the king, who was stamping his foot. Jamie heard the stamp, and then he heard the king cry in a clear, boyish voice. I won't be a king. I'm a queen, honey. I won't sit upon a throne all day and make laws and punish people. Well, maybe I'll punish them. And he bowed down too. I want to be a little boy and have fun. I do. Look, I don't care what they're doing these days.
Neverland Ranch.
We don't tend to the little boys around here, okay? We just don't do that. No. You leave that up to the other. You leave that up to the rest of the alphabet, okay? At that moment, a gust of wind blew the king's skirt up. I mean, his mantle from his shoulders. It looked like a handful of golden leaves flying through the air. And the king himself. Or was it only a branch of scarlet leaves? No. It was the little king who came scampering over the grass like a little scamp toward Jamie. Come, he said gleefully. And Jamie did. We are going to run away, you and I. We're going to have the merriest day of our whole lives. My crutches, sighed Jamie. See, I can't run. Can't you? Whispered the little king gently. Just close your eyes and keep tight hold of my hand.
I like it when they're hobbled.
I know you can't run away as fast. This way it's As Jamie shut his eyes, he felt something.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not going to make it through this.
I'm dying. Oh God, I'm dying.
I like to give him a little lead just to watch him flop around on the ground. They think they can run.
Well, they say the hardest part about eating a vegetable is getting it back in the wheelchair.
As Jamie shut his eyes, he felt something very soft, like a bit of thistle down against his cheek. And then, as light as that same thistle, he felt himself rising from the ground, drifting, floating, flying up and up. Now open your eyes, said the little king's laughing voice.
I don't know what's
Jamie
happening to my
obeyed,
body.
and for a moment he was puzzled. Was he a king too, he wondered? For his clothes were of crimson velvet, and that lad's beside him, or was that but leaves fluttering through the air? Never mind what you are, cried the king, reading his look of bewilderment. We can all be lots more things than we dream of until the spirit of autumn takes hold of us.
Hercules,
Bitch.
Hercules.
That bitch. The folks below think us only leaves, but we know better. And now, where shall we go? This is my last gorgeous day, for tonight autumn flies away with the cold breath of winter, bitch. Let's fly to the spot you wish to see more than anything in the world. Flying like this is such fun that I don't care where we go, answered Jamie. Then suddenly both leaves. But let us say, boys, stopped drifting and gazed and wondered at the sight before them. They were in the sunshine, but a shower was falling. Oh, God.
What kind of shower are we talking now?
It's so cold out there. in the
Is it of
distance.
the yellow variety?
To each
No.
their own.
golden
To each their
shower.
own.
Okay,
But a golden shower was following in the distance, and opposite them, across the sky, stretched a perfect rainbow.
Why is it so spicy?
You would figure it would be a perfect rainbow. wouldn't it?
Right?
Oh my god, I hurt so much right now.
Did you ever hear the pot of gold at the rainbow's foot? Asked Jamie excitedly. Let's go now and find it.
Oh,
All right, answered the little king. Let's go there. And if we don't find the pot of gold, we may find something more wonderful.
Naughty.
Through the air, they flew toward the rainbow, whose colors were paling a little in the center, but growing more and more glorious at its end.
Oh, it's so
I'm
big.
gonna grab
Shut
that
your-
leprechaun and make him squeal like a piggy.
Yeah. See, this is why I had to read the Thanksgiving psalm. Now you understand.
Jesus.
Really big.
Shut your eyes again and hold my hand tight, said the king.
Tighter, just a little. Oh, not too tight.
I must fill your eyes with mist, or you'll be blinded by the sight you're going to see. No boy has ever seen it before except in dreams.
Why is my eye sticky?
Ouch, my eyeball!
For a moment, Jamie shivered. They seemed to be passing through a thick fog, and then, open your eyes, cried the king. Jamie looked.
Glued shut.
Where's the nail polish?
Here's a moist towelette for you. Picture to yourself a great golden hall filled with streams of colors, each as radiant as the sunshine, and yet seen through the spectacles of mist, so soft they could not dazzle your eyes. each great sheath of color was moving, shifting, and weaving itself in and out among the others like a figure of a dancer, so quickly that it was almost impossible to catch it. And yet, that was just what hundreds of gay little fairies with butterfly wings and stars of thistle down were trying to do.
It's our own little parade.
We call it Over the Rainbow.
This was a good read.
What is this, a Tuesday in San Francisco? Jeez.
No, this is 1970s New York, honey.
Oh boy, it's even worse.
Each one carried a golden pot. And as they caught one color after another, their captives rushed away, leaving a bit of color in the fairy's hand.
It rubs the lotion on its skin.
Oh, look, it's all white.
It's a hole again. It rubs the lotion on its skin.
Hastily dropping that bit into his golden pot with a merry tinkling laugh, the fairy was off again, and another dancing, gleaming bit of rainbow. So there are pots of gold, cried Jamie. But what do the fairies do with the rainbow's colors?
Oh, no.
Seriously, I'm starting to relive one of my acid trips at this point. Just then, a very merry sprite came tearing past, his pot brimming over with glowing crimson. My color is
bleeding
now.
He's bleeding.
Got a lot of blood to pop out
cried.
of my basement.
I've got 1 billion trees to paint, and that's all. And all that's left over goes to the cardinal flowers. Mine is just as popular, sang out another fairy. His pot overflowing with gold. There are millions of goldenrods for me to color as well as the trees. And Autumn loves mine too, chanted a delicate little sprite whose pot was filled with violet. Think of all the asters without which your goldenrods would be very tiresome. And mine, rippled another, his pot filled with blue like the sea. Autumn always wants mine. The genitals, genations, whatever the hell you call it, are rare because one blossom takes more color than 1,000 of spring's forget-me-nots.
Bill.
Just then, a flaming orange stream came running past, and Jamie and the little king made one grab at it. You need to get some electrolytes, honey. That's all I'm saying. Thieves, robbers, cried the colors in the whirl of a fury. In a second, they were all dancing madly before the eyes of the terrified boys. Then there was a crash, and the lads found themselves lying upon the ground, wet, thick, gray mist all over them.
So moist.
All I'm saying is I pictured them dancing in front of him to like, what's her name?
He stole my pearl necklace.
Like something out of that that movie back in the 40s, the where they just come snapping their fingers in.
Kind of like a musical
Oh,
type
like West Side Story?
Yes.
It's Robin Hood.
Yes.
The one where they did the dance number in that one Robin Hood movie.
Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That's even funnier. Because I can't get that other one out of my head.
So
We're
Yes. Tight.
All right. The glorious dance at the rainbow's foot had vanished. I suppose we deserved that, sighed Jamie. But I did want a pocket full of color stuff to show the other boys. Never mind. Let's fly out of this mist and have more fun, cried the little king. Up they floated into the sunshine, and they found that the winds had been busy while they were gone. Almost
Yeah,
every
it's like a
tree,
bow, bow.
almost every tree stood dark and bare, like my
Ooh.
coffee. The air was full of brilliant whispering leaves. Winter is surely coming soon, said the little king.
Ooh, come,
Look
come,
at the
come.
spot below us where I grew.
And bigger.
Beneath them, in the center of the pasture, stood the maple tree. Only one crimson leaf still fluttering from its branches. When that leaf is gone, I have to say goodbye for many months. Because believe me, I need a spa treatment at this point, said the king. Come before that happens. We'll go to the cavern of winds and see how autumn plays with them.
Would you hurry it up? I mean, we've been at this for a while, and you're just jackhammering. Come on now, I ain't got
Look,
time. My show's
Listen, the only reason
Cavern of the Winds.
the only reason they've been full with Autumn is because she looks like a 1940s Hollywood. Otherwise, they wouldn't touch the bitch. This time they flew upward, and now it was so cold that Jamie drew his scarlet robes close about him. Through the first thin clouds they flew, right into a great cloud looking like an enormous castle. They floated. It was like one huge hall, so vast that Jamie couldn't see the other end, but he could hear. Far, far away beyond the great arches, the rumbling of a mighty organ.
I got you with mine organ, yeah. Yeah, what?
Crashing and thunderous it sounded until the vast hall shook and echoed with the sound. Sounds like my date. This is Autumn playing upon the organ of the winds.
hot to
You'd blow that organ.
Yeah, blow that organ. Said the little king. And although he shouted in Jamie's ear, it sounded like a whisper above the music. When she touches the keys, the winds fill the pipes and go roaring off to carry all the leaves away.
Clean them pipes.
She swallows. She swallows.
Yeah. He explained, but listen, she knows the leaves have almost all fallen, and now she is singing her goodbye to them. Well, they only paid for 30 minutes.
Are you done yet?
The crashing had ceased, and through the great hall echoed a slumber song, as sweet as a thrush's note at twilight, as tender as a wood dove's call. Jamie closed his eyes and thought of lapping waves and sunsets, the new moon rising and the first stars blossoming in the sky. Did he sleep there in the wind's cavern with the spirit of autumn, singing goodnight to her flaming world? He never knew. When he opened his eyes, he found himself standing upon the doorstep of his own home. I've been there, honey. Believe me, so many times. How did I get back home? I
Where
don't
the
know.
hell did I get here?
I don't remember how I got here, but okay.
He was drawing something soft and white about him to keep him out of the cold. He heard it whispered, "Good night, comrade. Until next autumn." Flutter as the leaves flying through the air. And then the house door opened, and he stood with the light of a blazing fire falling upon him as he heard his mother's voice. They always live with their mothers, don't they?
They do.
Why, Jamie, you're covered with snow, and my boy, where are your crutches? Into the house he ran, right into his mother's outstretched arms. Although his crutches were still lying out in the pasture, buried beneath the snow, and Jamie was well. Was it a gift from the spirit of autumn to a little lad? Just another of her precious gifts given with her flaming leaves and her wind's music, her glorious flowers? Has she not a gift for you too among all these? Open your eyes and your ears and find your heart's desire. Autumn's touch paints all the maple leaves with brilliant crimson, and his golden kiss lies on the clustered hazels scarlet grows. A sturdy oak, a copper-hued the beach. A russet gloss lingers on your chin. I mean, in the elm. Sorry. A pencil birch is yellowing space, and many tinted show the woodlands all, with autumn's dying slenders. Oh my goodness. I need to
Well
go.
done.
I need to go
Spent.
take a drop of and eat some mushrooms or something after that.
That was
You
a
scare
long
me.
one.
You do that so well. You really,
I'm sorry,
really
that was
It
well
was
worth
scare me.
It was pretty good.
for me today. So
I'm convinced.
Spent.
What do you got
and I'm
there?
spent.
So who's reading what, and why is it Nut Gatherers?
I think it's I have a
Well,
story
it's-
turn.
Yeah.
Well, he was talking about stuffing the turkey, or it depends on how long it is.
I thought it was up closer to the top.
Oh,
maybe
there
I'm
it is.
wrong.
Right
No,
there.
it's-
a turkey
it's-
for the
it's down.
stuffing.
Right after the queer little baker man. And there's
That's
also
what it
pumpkin
Have we
was.
pie.
read that one?
No.
Oh,
We haven't
okay.
read Turkey for the Stuffing, no.
Okay. Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it
Okay.
is.
Yeah, we
Yeah, I
have
think
read that
this
one.
is.
It's kind
Oh,
of
we did? Yeah, we
Mhm.
did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
we did.
this is
My
the
bad.
other
Yeah,
one,
we
and-
read that.
yeah.
All right, my bad. All right. So
Never mind.
let's go back up here. Let's see. Too far. Went too far again. Boys, going too far. All right, these are the Thanksgiving ones. We already did the Thanksgiving psalm and the green corn dance. No.
Cheerful chirpers.
Katie did and Miss Kate. What?
How to be a Katie dead?
That's what I was looking at too. I was like,
The
what?
what? Oh.
Let's see.
Well, actually, if you want, I mean, I'm okay. So we're 18 over, so it's up to you.
That's
guys.
fine. How about this? This one's a good one. It's fun and easy. It's not very long.
Okay. All right. I'm not going to read it. Okay. Long, long ago, so long that the story has had time to grow into a garden legend, 2 green grasshoppers went out one fine day to play with a cricket. They played tag, and I'm on Gypsy land. At last, they decided to have a game of hide and seek. The goal was a blade of grass, and they counted to see who should be a... Wait a minute, what? The goal was a blade of grass, and they counted out to see who should be goal man. It felt to the little cricket, Katie did. She was to hide her eyes behind the grass blade and count up to 100 by tens, while the 2 grasshoppers went off to hide. So the cricket hid her face so that she could see nothing and began. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. I'm coming.
I'm dead.
I'm there. Though there were plenty of good places in which to hide in the garden, one green grasshopper had been slow to suit himself. He had yet not hidden when the little cricket turned around and caught him. And he began. You didn't count up to 100. I didn't have time to hide. You should have hollered. Coming. It's not fair. I'm not going to play anymore. You didn't count up to 100. At this, the grasshopper came out of hiding. She did count up to 100, he said. Katie did. She didn't. Oh, she did. She didn't. Katie did. Katie didn't. What the fuck is it? Didn't. Okay, they keep fucking arguing. Jesus. All right. To this very day, You can hear the dispute still going on in the garden, and the game of tag has never yet been finished. Ever since that time, the grasshoppers who started the discussion have been called kittydids, and the whole garden is full of the controversy.
Oh, that's kind of
You can hear hundreds of little voices keeping it up, though nothing is ever decided. So it goes on eternally. Katie did, Katie didn't, and so on. So nobody has ever yet settled a dispute by contradiction. By this time, too, everyone has forgotten what the quarrel was about. That was a
wanna
goofy
read that
little
as
story.
You want to read that as Snape right there?
Snape.
Alan Rick.
Damned, old Dame Cricket, down in the thicket, brought up her children 9. Queer little chaps in glossy black caps and brown little suits, so fine. My children, she said, the birds are abed. Go and make the dark earth glad. Chirp while you can. And then she began, till, what a concert they had. They hopped with delight, they chirped all night, singing cheer up, cheer. Old Dame Cricket, down in the thicket, sat awake till dawn to hear. Nice children, she said, and very well bred. My darlings have done their best. Their naps they must take, the birds are awake, and they can sing all the rest.
Have a good turkey day, y'all.